So let's take a look at Fran's clean and jerk. Before her clean, I had her doing a clean pull with a hold in her toes to kind of let her focus on finishing a little bit. So we'll watch that first. We'll go over that. So we'll watch the full thing, then I'll go over and analyze it.
You need to use your legs and get that bar back. Come on, aggressive. Aggressive. Big drive. There we go. That one was way better.
All right. So let's take a look at what we got here. So we'll zoom in a little bit. So we take a look off the ground. I still think she still is, if I draw the line, she still could be a little bit more over the bar on the start. I did a couple things. I pushed the bar away from her like a quarter inch, and I had her raise her hips a little bit. But I think she could even raise her hips a little bit more, so that angle will get greater. She'll move her knees back. What I'm always telling people here is, at that start position, you should feel tension in your hamstrings. So you should be over the bar, your legs should be tight, and you should be over the bar enough where you feel tension in the hamstrings. That's usually a good cue to get people set up in the right position. So I think off the start, she could be a little bit more over the bar. That's going to take a little bit of playing around. This is okay, but I think she could be a little more over. It's going to take some playing with. As we go through, we see here, I'm getting her to pull and hold because that position looks pretty good here. The bar is a little forward. She needs to kind of be squeezing. She needs to be pulling back with her lats here. She needs a little more upper body strength overall, like pull-ups, things like that. That'll help her get stronger there. She needs to pull back. Kind of see her shoulders a little bit forward. And then we'll watch her. She can't keep the balance, and she steps it forward. So we see that. Now let's look at the clean. So let's see if she goes back. So this was pretty good. When we first started working, we see this foot here. We see her feet have a good finish before she was hopping right into that. But we do notice, look at what happened. The right foot is the only one that moves. The left foot doesn't move. So what that tells me, typically the left foot is driving for longer, which means it's substantially stronger. So with her, we need to do some unilateral work to kind of balance her out. She did figure skating before she started lifting, so I think she mentioned this was her left side was her jumping leg, so she really has a tendency to want to do that, and we need to really work on that. So I want to do some unilateral work with her, and we're also going to, I would like to see her really work on shuffling with both feet and kind of moving evenly. Probably some no-feet cleans. Doing some no-feet cleans will be helpful for her to keep driving with that right foot evenly, because what happens is she keeps driving that left foot, and then that right foot doesn't drive. So some no-foot work would be pretty beneficial. So I noticed that there. Here, that bar, it's okay. It could be a little bit closer. It's swing out a little bit, so that theme of her kind of using her lats, elbows high, keeping it closer. Overall, not too bad of a stand-up. Let's take a look at the jerk. I think I talked with her a little bit of the jerk. Let's take a look. Let's look at her dip. So what I see is she moves a little bit, her knees forward. She needs to drop her hips a little bit more. So she needs to drop those hips straight down kind of that pivot right there is where we're looking for her to sit back a little bit longer on the heels, because then we see right here, on that jerk, she needs to stay flat longer. Like we see her dip, she dips, then the weight goes to her toes substantially, and then you see that kind of peak under her foot. Right there. She's on those toes early. That's going to push that bar a little bit forward, so she needs to focus on heels and sitting back. Then let's take a look here. We got a little bit of work to do. I wanted her to focus on, today we were focused on being more aggressive and powerful. But if we look at her feet, she's kind of tight roping. If we look at this, the back knee needs to be bent more. So the tight rope here means she needs to have her feet displaced more let me get a fresh arrow, in this direction, in that lateral direction. Her feet need to be further apart. So she starts here, and then her feet get closer together in that line right there. So that's where, and she recovers front foot first, which is one cue we worked on. And we kind of just look at how the bar is. She just needs to get stronger overall, because we kind of look at how she could be stronger there in the overhead position. She just needs a little more upper body strength. All right, that's Fran's clean. Fran's clean and jerk.